What problems result when we blindly follow our ancestors? All right, that is the question for this video, and this is number 18 on the list of the 144 fractal faculties, the short versions that I'm rolling out here on this channel. Welcome. And I normally do educational videos. The first unit that we're covering here is on the Tree of Life. We've already done the 144 kind of longer videos with the introduction, and now we're just trying to shorten them and streamline them. If you want to get an introduction to this before you dive in to the short videos, you just want to watch my video Tree of Life, a short introduction, or Tree of Life, an introduction. Either one, or really any of the numbered videos will have a even longer introduction there. Now, the reason why we do Tree of Life here at the beginning is to kind of set a foundation, because it makes things a lot easier when we teach other subjects. It makes it a lot easier to assimilate that knowledge and also to be able to recall it. Tree of Life is a great foundation for other learning. Now, when we look at the tree here, we're looking at number 18, and that is within the ninth sphere. Now, if you recall, the ninth sphere is about our domestic. This is our domestic sphere, domestic consciousness, what we're getting in the home when we're growing up, the first years of our life, where we have a heightened state of receptivity. We're soaking it all up like a sponge because everything is new and fresh and amazing to us. And we have these caregivers in our home who are feeding us and sheltering us, and we grow a certain amount of level of devotion toward them, and they influence us. We stare at them and we watch what they do, and eventually we learn to memorize, to imitate, and to memorize what they do. So things get passed down to us just through that home environment. Okay, so that is the ninth sphere that we're looking at. Now, within the ninth sphere, for this one, number 18, we're also talking about the fifth sphere. Okay, so now you remember to come up with the 144, what we do is we take all 12 of the components of the tree, and we basically shrink it down. So we shrink down the whole tree. So what you want to do is imagine this tree to be shrunk down, and then apply the whole tree to just the ninth sphere. So, we're breaking down the ninth sphere into its 12 components. And, when we do that with each sphere, we end up with 144, or 12 times 12, different fractal faculties or stages of life. And for this one, number 18, we're talking about the fifth sphere. Now, you recall the fifth sphere is really about our sense of justice, sense of fairness. This has to do with karma, and karma is really, what comes around goes around. As you sow, so shall you reap. For every action, there's an equal and an opposite reaction. And it also has to do with grading us or judging us based on violence, waste, and violation. So those are the aspects within the ninth sphere that are relevant here. So we're talking about the learning cycle and the domestic sphere, and then imitation and learning and memorization, and then we're also talking about karma. Okay, so number 18 is actually called residual karma. Stage 18 is about the delayed payback that comes back to haunt us for the waste and violence and violation that we committed unknowingly. I knew deep down that I was doing something wrong, but I didn't listen to that inner informer. Sickness and disease speaks so softly at first, but the alarm begins to ring louder and louder. We're under double jeopardy, after we didn't heed single jeopardy. We were blind. We picked up things from our home, in our own upbringing, without questioning. But we are still punished by our own sins. Not punished for our own sins, but punished by our own sins. Sins that we've overlooked, being blind. Sins that have stayed unconscious. We never knew that simple habits like diet could be so wasteful or violent. Putrid proteins, rancid red roasts, festering fetid fats, residual payback that later became chronic when I did nothing about it. I didn't listen. Mucus, pus, and feces, bile, ropes, and stones, soot and worms and smoke, all inside of me. A healthy behavior, a healthy lifestyle was not handed down to us, but instead we learned destructive behavior that we must now unlearn, or we will be afflicted with residual karma. As ignorance is no excuse in this universe. Knowing the rules of nature, as straightforward as they are, is a formidable task. Learning the rules of living right is a lot harder than we think it is. And then acting on those rules is a lot harder than just knowing about them, too. Even if we know our actions are against the law, we still have habits and lifestyles that are hard to break. But until we do break them, we will continue to be afflicted by residual karma. If it goes into our body, it has to come out too. Or it still sits in there festering at 98.6 or more until it does. Okay, that is the number 18, the fifth fractal of the ninth sphere, residual karma. And, again, we will have much more to say about that. Even later when I believe it's number 66, we will be talking about direct karma. And also with number 49, we'll be talking about things that we can do in order to kind of deal with the residual karma. And we may have many other discussions in addition to those. So just keep all that in mind. We're just going through these short fractals just to give us a baseline. And also, if you'd like to kind of get more of an overview, please just click the link in the description and I will send out to you for free the guide to the 144 fractal faculties or stages of life, history, cosmology, and spirituality. Those are, that will just give you all 144 of them all at once so you can see the evolution and you can make comparisons and you can look ahead. It's just like having a scorecard if you're going to be listening to some of these videos. And you also can find in the description my Venmo and Cash App addresses if you'd like to donate directly to me for future research. You can also click the like button, share the video with others, subscribe to the channel, and make constructive comments in the comment section. Otherwise, I appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. And keep in mind that I'll be trying to roll out the next one, number 19, hopefully before the day is over, but definitely by tomorrow. And so stay tuned for that. Otherwise, have a beautiful day.